I'd like to welcome everybody to our masterclass, and our faculty is none other than Lauren Bailey, one of the leading sales training minds in the United States and in the world. Thank you for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you for that lovely compliment. We're gonna have a good time. This is something I've never presented in public before, so I'm really excited to break this down.
Well, I share something, we have something in common because I started my career as a sales trainer for a multinational construction equipment company that had 1,400 salespeople in 41 different countries. And I discovered a passion for helping them win, and we share that passion. Uh,
Oh, for sure.
but not every sales training program works. There are a lot of organizations that either create too many playbooks or they don't do enough, you teach them and sales managers coach something else, and it's really messy. And the big question is, how can you create a program that really works, that delivers consistent results?
It is the big question, because there's a million ways it can go wrong. I'm so happy people are coming on camera and joining us. Hi, everybody. Beamer, it's been a decade, maybe two, since I've seen your face. Really
Yeah.
happy you're here.
How you doing?
Really great. Great. This is going to be so much fun. Everybody else, you're welcome to come on camera. We're going to ask you to chat along the way also. So, right, let's just make this interactive and a good time and do what makes you comfortable. Gerhard, back to you.
So I think that we are all used to living in a world that's chaotic. And there is so much information that surrounds us, that is forced upon us, that prevents us from seeing clearly and deciding what's important now. What's important now is an acronym for WIN. And it's very difficult for salespeople today to find clarity and transition to the role of being the clarifier, the not the salesperson, but the solve person that solves problems for the customer. And so we need to adapt to a new world that's driven by AI, that's over automated, that is annoying from a technology perspective, but exciting from a productivity perspective. And here's what I see. As complexity goes up, decision making goes down, it slows down. Forrester just published a survey saying that there are 9 internal decision makers and there are 11 outside influencers that get involved in the decision. So if there's one salesperson and one customer and 20 ghosts that are behind, it becomes really difficult to win sales today. So, Lauren, with all that, background that you agree with, what is the best way to create a sales training function in a company that transforms salespeople into clarifiers and problem solvers?
Well, I think it doesn't matter what it is we're training. That's the thing, right? Like, I love your strategic approach, Gerhard, but there's 20 really important things, right? And every rep and every company has a different 20 important things they need to know and master. And I love the sales leaders and the enablement leaders who drive that passion to help solve that for them and to help salespeople win and be successful, which is the whole mission. It's such a wonderful career, but it can chew you up and spit you out fast if you're not successful quickly. And so all of us on the call have the same goal to help make it work and stick. And that's exactly the playbook that I'm going to share today. So it's less about what to train them and more about how to train them. And in fact, it's probably even more about what surrounds the training to really make it sing. That's where we're going to focus. Does that work for everybody? All right, really good. So I know we've got a couple people still joining us at the last minute. I'm going to ask you to open up your chat. Tell us your location, please. Like, give me your city, plus tell us your role. Are you a revenue leader? Are you a trainer? Are you an enablement leader? Are you an HR leader? You get it, right? So give us the role and the city, and we'll see who we've got in the room. Um, I'm told, by the way, I'm a little bit famous for tactical takeaways. So beware the multitasking. Get your phone out because I'm going to give you a bunch of free resources throughout with QR codes. So get ready for some notes. I love it. Oh, contact centers, the speed of light. Love it. All right, so we're getting a pretty good mix of our revenue and our enablement. Thank you for chatting that in. Just so you know what to expect, for the next 30 minutes, we're going to deep dive into how we've gotten adoption, how we've gotten training to stick over the last 20, 30 years. The first half, that's for everybody. Revenue, enablement. I'm literally going to break down our system. Okay, I give you the playbook. The second half, I'm going to get my training geek hat on, and we're going to go really deep into the training side of this. So that's just because I know you revenue leaders, and you're going to split halfway through. So let's get started. Another chat poll, 1 through 4. Rate your confidence right now, your current training's ability to drive adoption. And just in case you're not familiar with the term, right? Adoption means they freaking use it on the calls. They, right? They use it on the job. Because if we're looking for results, that's step one. Okay. So give me a chat 1, 2, 3, and 4. Interesting. We'll have that keep coming in. And I'm going to build you a minute of credibility so that I get more of your attention in the next few minutes. To date, I've worked with probably over 1,000 sales teams across 30 countries. I've started my career in leading sales teams, actually, in technology and in services. And I've built enablement departments from the ground up 3 times. My first training job was teaching IBM how to sell a computer over the phone around the world. They thought it was impossible at the time. And my last corporate job before jumping out and founding Factor 8 was in charge of the global training strategy at SAP as they were launching call centers around the world. You can't sell $1 million software over the phone. Yes, you can. So my lane is very much in the inside sales and digital sales arena. Not saying this won't work for others, but my friends in the contact centers know that virtual sales moves fast and everybody's busy and it's kind of a mayhem in there and it becomes even harder to get things to stick. So I started Factor 8 almost 20 years ago now, and it was because I couldn't find what I was looking for. Nobody had that virtual selling curriculum. My reps had come out of training knowing everything about the product, but not how to actually get somebody on the phone and sell it over the phone. So I built what I couldn't find. Here's just a couple logos from our 18 years together. Our number one lead source for the last 18 years has been repeat and referral business because we're known for getting the results. And to do that, we have to get it to stick in the first place, right? So today I'm giving you the playbook. I will start with a couple slides of theory to get us aligned on where I'm building this from. Then I'm going to go into some actual case studies and break down how we did it. And I would love your questions along the way. So, a couple things you need to know about us. Like I said, we are very much aligned in virtual. We do training for BDRs, AEs, SDRs, account managers, customer success, inbound, outbound, and frontline manager, which basically means if they're under 40, it's their first to fourth job in sales and they wear a headset. That's our audience. Doesn't mean the system won't work for other audiences, but these are the fresh people, if you will, right? These are the younger folks in their career. And so that may help you figure out how and where you're going to use some of these tips even more. These are just some average results that we're getting. I want you to know that we know what we're talking about. We've got some results that are in triple digits. These are averages. And that's why folks bring us back. And it all starts with adoption. We did a study last year in Q4. Amazing inside information. You're going to scan this and get it. But the one part of the study I'm going to share with you is this. Revenue leaders shared with us that the most frustrating thing was not that we don't have enough training. There's lots of training, right? And we can build it even faster with AI. The problem is adoption. Look at that. It's not a lack of training, it's a lack of impact. And I got to see, I didn't see anybody voted for. So we're all feeling this. Okay. That's tough, right? A lot of training time, not a lot of training change. So if we're going to get impact, they have to actually use it. And of course, that's why we're here today. By the way, there's plenty of stats on what frustrates enablement leaders about revenue leaders as well. But we all want the same thing. So let's dig in. I'm going to start with the big goal. Um, when I think about this with an enablement point of view, with what's best for our sellers' point of view, our ultimate goal is that we've got rep development and people development happening everywhere. My company, we call this everboarding. We didn't coin it, we stole it, but I love the term. Okay. So we're usually brought in around number two, right? I've got 50 reps, and guess what? During COVID, we were writing orders, and now we actually have to sell, or we're working against the competition, or I moved from the field to inside, or my goal just tripled. Help, right? That's when they bring in somebody outside like us. But the goal is that after we train your 50 people, now all your new people need it as well. We want to push it backwards into new hire and onboarding. We've got to get great skills and great adoption there first. Makes the rest of the job easier. But ultimately, we don't want it to stop there. We like to see development also in that performance sector, the targeted lift. Sometimes that's a PIP. I love it when I hear that PIPs are now including development initiatives, and we watch reps come off of performance improvement plans. And that's unusual, right? It usually means you're on your way out the door. But with the right coaching and development, they can come off. And I love that. It could also be onesie twosie hires that managers have to deal with. We want tools and training available for them. Number four is what all reps demand. The number one thing people are looking for at their companies, and the number one reason they'll leave, is a lack of development. So we want to build training into career paths, and it can even be built into certifications and recognitions and special programs. So when training and development is everywhere, it means we're doing the best for our employees, we're doing the best for our performance, and frankly, it means folks are loving training, right? Like when revenue leaders want it a part of the entire rep life cycle, we've done our job in enablement because we're killing it, right? So I'm going to ask you guys, what number is really working in your company? Where is the biggest and strongest part of development and enablement? One for new hire, two for ongoing upskilling, three for that targeted lifts, four for career paths, and five for recognition. I bet I'm going to get all ones. That is just how it rolls, isn't it? We start there. We got to teach these new kids what to do. And then we run out of time and resources after that. While you guys are continuing to chat that in, I'm going to share with you that we launched a model this year to enable it to be easy and inexpensive to push the skills everywhere. And of course, we called it everboarding, and it's a brand new model in the training market. Nobody else does this. So instead of us coming in every time somebody needs the training, we come in and do it once and then give the enablement teams the keys to the kingdom. So they go and do the training. And it's not a typical train the trainer for a 2-day program because we've got 50, 60 modules. It's putting our training on your systems. It's literally giving soft copies so that you get to customize it, you get to reproduce it, it gets to live with you forever. So it used to really frustrate me when I would pay outside vendors, right, to come in and customize the training, and I'd pay $10,000 for them to put one role play in the back. Like, come on already. That build versus buy is frustrating. So we solved it. And if you want to learn more about it, grab this QR code. I went backwards really quick because, like I said, nobody else does this. I'm really proud of it. All right. So let's look at the top 5 reasons that we're not getting adoption. And I really want to hear from folks. What did I leave out? Like, tell me which one do you think is the biggest issue, or what am I missing? So chat in or feel free to come off mute and share what you're seeing. But these are the things that I think are the top culprits right now. Training being an event is something that this is how most people buy training, right? Oh, I haven't trained my rep since new hire. It's been 5 or 6 years. I have a budget surplus. Let's do a little training at the kickoff. I've got 2 hours, train them six things. That just doesn't work, right? So we stopped doing that. We partner now to come in long term. So yes, you can have us come in for an SKO, but the majority of our engagements are a year or 2 years long, where they're just sort of outsourcing the ongoing enablement to us. And that's how you get it to stick. So it's a system, not an event. Managers, I think, right? Enablement folks, we all want to choke the life out of the frontline sales managers who don't coach what we train. I know that's frustrating. I'm going to give you solutions for that. I think another really big reason, especially now that we can produce content quickly, is that the content sucks. It's not interactive. And if it doesn't include adult learning theory, it doesn't stick. And if it doesn't stick, it's sure not going to get adopted. So we'll talk about that in the second half too. Executive sponsorship or the lack of customization. I was just complaining about that. So give me a chat. What do you think is the biggest reason? Event, managers, quality, sponsorship, or generic? This is interesting. I love it. Keep it coming in. Keep it coming in. It's a great that you have several answers. And sometimes you don't know, right? Ah, too much, Victoria. I really love that. That's the whole, I have 5 minutes. Can you train them seven things? Sales leaders, listen to me. It doesn't work that way. How do you know if it's broken? If you're not sure what the root cause is, let's go up a level, okay, and look for things. And again, I would love to hear something I missed here. But here's some ideas about how you know, right? We're not getting it completed. A mind-numbing amount of videos. Suzanne, from your lips to God's ears. Stop the videos. Um, we don't hear about the skills on the floor. We don't see managers coaching the skills. The leaders aren't talking about it anymore. My enablement leaders, all of a sudden, you don't have requests coming in. Guess what? They're not buying what you're selling. That it's not working out there. But we've got to have some of these red flags ready. And I would love to see if anybody has one. I'm going to let you chat it in now if I've missed it, because I got to tell you, it's usually not our fault that it's not working. Because there's this delicate balance of a lot of factors. Gerhardt, you were saying it's messy. There's a million ways it can go wrong and not get adopted. So I'm going to share two theory slides with you that's rooted in the why we do things the way we do and the model we use to inform it. And then I'll break down the model. Okay. So,
I want to jump in because the
yeah.
comments are really, really interesting. First, I want to zoom back. Your first survey question was
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, and you had 9 1s,
Mhm.
7 2s, 1 2.5, and 4 3s. So nobody had a 4. But the questions right now, the answers that you got on your question, Suzanne said, mind-numbing amount of videos. And I totally agree with you. There is too much information, not enough quality.
Yeah. Isn't that the best one? But I see a lot of managers and generic also in here. And it's so true. An event, God, I love that. That's why we quit doing it. And I wish we could just help everybody know that. I think the frustrating thing for my enablement folks, so revenue leaders, I'm speaking to you. When we came up in sales, we didn't have good training. We figured it out, right? We don't know what really great looks like. And so we ask for the same old thing. We ask for the event. We are fine with the video. We don't think we have to really get involved. And it's not the case anymore. This is an attention economy, and it takes all different factors to make it work. And here are the different factors, by the way. This is the human performance improvement model. I fell in love with this, I'm going to say a few decades ago in my 20s when I was getting a psychology degree. It says, if you want performance to change, you've got to address all the factors. So when you see skills and knowledge there on the right, that's the part that training, right? Just relabel that training. But look at all the other pieces. If they're not getting feedback and measurement, that's the coaching that we're always saying we're missing. If we're not setting the expectations that we want the behavior to change, and if we're not reflecting that in real numbers like compensation, reward, and recognition, we don't have the motivation to make the change. I've seen tools and resources stop the progress. And I'll give you an example. I was brought in at Oakwood Corporate Housing. They were getting a ton of inbound calls, but low conversions. And we were building the training, doing the needs analysis. We were figuring out what were the right skills to shift this. And then we noticed that their system, as soon as somebody calls in, required 5 to 10 pieces of data before they could get into screens to have discussions about the different housing options. I need your address, I need your this, right? They had to quiz them. And so the sales conversation was being choked by the system requirements, and it got them into order taking robot mode instead of sales conversation mode. So that's just one example of how a tool or a system can undo everything from your perfect training program. We saw the same thing in compensation. 2 weeks ago, my team was up in Detroit with a group that was selling renewals to home warranties. And everybody was really excited about getting better. But it turned out that these folks, we learned at the last hour, they were paid by the number of sales per hour. So people were like, I don't want to sit in training. This is, wait, hold on. I don't want to go. Their motivation wasn't there. So because we looked for it and found it, we threw spiffs on and we changed the compensation during that day so that they were incentivized to be in the training and apply the training. So look for all of these. I've translated this into the model we use at Factor 8, and it's called the BLISS model because I love me an acronym. And so it kind of puts it in order of what we have to do. It translates the HPI into corporate training. Buy-in, number one. That's going to help us get expectations and motivation. That's getting it from the top level through the managers and the reps. L for learning, videos suck. I'm just going to leave it at that. You all know. I will dive into it in the second half. I is for interaction. It's part of learning, but it's also getting hands-on with whatever is available, including managers getting involved, interacting with the tools, with the product. Don't train things in silos. One day of rep product training, one day of sales training, one day of systems training. We want to interact with everything at once so that things can synthesize. And that's the next S. The existing tools, the existing process, the existing cadence. If we're trying to get managers to coach, but we don't fit it into their existing manager operating rhythm, good luck. If we're trying to get people to do a brand new skill, but it doesn't synthesize well with the tool, like the study I just told you about, good luck. So we want to remember in the human brain what fires together, wires together. And unfortunately, customers are never going to give your reps a multiple choice, right? So we have to have scenarios and role plays that include the product while they're on the system, using the resources and make the experience of the training of the skills look as much like on the job as possible. Okay. And the last S is about supporting and seeing results. This is coaching. This is reward and recognition. These are communication programs, certifications, and measurement. Okay. Behavior change is an ongoing and evolutionary process, and it takes each of these steps. So if you've already identified it, tell me what's missing. What is the BLISS step that you have the biggest opportunity to go and really accelerate right now at your company? I know nobody likes to admit when, oh, here's what stinks. I'd love to hear what you're also nailing. But what's the part of the model that we're missing? Those end parts. So, Carol, I'm going to guess you also voted managers. That support can be really, really frustrating. So help identify that. All right. So now these are the theory slides. Thank you for that. My God, it changes everything when you look for all of this. Okay. Now I'm going to put this into a step-by-step results engine and show you the playbook. So here is how we get the results at Factor 8. Step 1, everything starts with an analysis. AI is making this easier. In fact, sometimes we back this into the discovery process. Folks come to us, revenue leaders, you're famous for this, right? I need negotiation training. You probably need value building and discovery training, and we can quickly analyze calls and then create that skill assessment. But this is where you have to start looking for the rest of the bliss. Look for the motivation, for the feedback, for the tools, all of the other things that are going to kill your results happens in the needs analysis. Okay. Step two, customization. Y'all chatted generic before. Don't let anybody roll out generic training, vendor or not. AI should make this much easier. Okay. Every role play is your customers, your language, your top objections. We can pull in actual recorded calls. Sometimes people think they know it. I don't need training. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what to do. And we start the training with a recorded call. And guess what? You may know it, but you're not doing it. So that's how custom you want to get. Okay. So now we have a custom plan built and we have our modules customized to include the voice of the customer. We go into kickoff mode. Now, enablement folks, it's so easy to skip this. All right. Because revenue leaders want it on Friday, but you got to take up space and you got to make it a big deal if you want them to pay attention. And early in my career, I didn't. I know I didn't. I was like, yep, I'll just build it. I'll get it done. I'll let you know how it goes by Friday. Right? I don't want to take up too much time. I didn't even put an appointment on your calendar. You told me what you needed over email. I executed it. Wrong way to do it. You sit down and have a meeting. You walk through all of this analysis. You get them involved in the kickoff. Okay. We do 2 rounds at Factor 8. We do a leadership kickoff with the managers, and then we get the managers and the leaders on again, and we do it with all of the reps. This is showing the executive alignment. They're setting expectations. It's getting ownership. It's showing urgency. All of that buy-in stuff that we need in the Bliss model, it's happening here. Those are the first 3 steps. Now, we train the managers before we train the reps. No matter what, even if you don't pay us to, even if you only bought rep training, because we know. Okay. Way back when I first started executing training, and I'm not going to tell you how many decades, but I would train the reps and then I have a little huddle with the managers. And I'd be like, all right, I know you're busy. Here it is in 5 minutes. Do this, don't do this. We taught them this, that. Doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Then we started asking managers to come to the training. Then we started telling managers to come to the training. Now, the managers are involved in the needs analysis. They're involved in the kickoff. And then we do coach the coach. Coach the coach is everything you wish you could tell a manager about how to do it right, but nobody let you do that. And so we built a class on it. And it's a combination of their role in developing their team and how important it is. Literally say this, not that. And a combination of some basic coaching skills. We also show them all the tools that we've built for them, how to use them, how to fit it into their cadence. Okay, we get them excited, we get them enrolled. They walk out with a custom playbook of how they're going to coach, reinforce, and hold accountable the training that we're doing. That is such a key, folks. What a difference it makes. Finally, in step 5, we do what you hired us to do and we train the reps. Okay, we have a 3-touch system blended. So they'll go do the e-learning, they'll do homework out of the e-learning, they come to the live workshop that is all custom, all role play, all interactive. They leave with homework, right? And expectations of going to apply on the job. That's where the manager meets them with the playbook. Then we bring them back. Step 3 is the accountability session. So after a week, week and a half, at the max 2 of going out and applying these skills, they know they're going to be asked to record a call and bring it back to play in the accountability session. In that session, we grade it, we calibrate the grading, we celebrate, we coach up to the next level, we stack rank if we have to, we issue contests, but there's no escaping, right? The first month or 2 when we go through this, you may think, oh, who cares? But we're going to call on you, and we need to see that you actually applied this, and your manager's going to be right there with us. Then the last step, of course, is the S and the S, right? The support and showing results. So once a quarter, we roll up. Here's the engagement. Here's test scores, everything we can measure, right? But the most important thing is, here are the KPIs we identified in the needs analysis and how they've moved. Leaders, how's it going? It's also our chance to shift strategy if we need to, because things change, but more importantly, to remind the leaders to keep this front of mind. The leaders stop talking about it because they move on to the next fire, right? So when I have the managers present to their leader, here's what we're doing with the training, I've got the manager's buy-in. Now I can remind the leaders in this QBR, guess what? I need you to ask about this in your manager meetings. I need you to jump out and let everybody know that the next contest is around A, B, or C. It's your chance to refresh with the leaders. Here's what I need you to do. And folks, sometimes we write them a script. That's okay. They're busy. Tell them what you need them to do to get them the results they want from you. So I'm going to pause for questions on the results engine before I jump into a couple case studies. Anybody want to jump in with a question or a challenge or, right, a me too? All right, feel free anytime. I'm going to keep rolling because I got a lot to cover. I'm going to break down three quick state case studies for you here. And then revenue leaders, I'm going to give you a resource or two. I'd love for you to stay, but if you can't, I get it. So Sage literally had an all new team, a brand new dialer, a new definition of success. AEs had silver platter syndrome, right? Bring it to me, perfectly done BDRs. They needed more appointments booked. They needed higher quality booked. They needed more passed, more accepted, and more showed. And they needed the managers to keep it alive. So in our needs analysis, we realized it wasn't going to work if we didn't spend more time with the managers. Our coach the coach program wasn't going to be enough. So we did a 4-month manager boot camp. Then we trained 6 key skills with the BDRs. We moved the needle significantly in 3 months. It stabilized at 6. It hit an all-time high. It stabilized at 9 months with a 46% increase in the conversion, right? We sustained it for 5 years. I'm going to show you how. Here's the system, right? We identified the top rep skills and we went for the big impact skills first. That creates more buy-in. It's easy to want to build the foundation first, but you need them to be wowed by moving a KPI immediately. We identified those manager gaps, right? We built a custom plan. We customized the training, regular kickoff, leadership kickoff, manager kickoff, right? We had the CRO there. Everybody was all in. We invited the leader of the AEs. Here's what we're doing to improve the leads for you. So look around at who else can be advocates. Who are the 11 ghosts internally as your customers? We did a deep manager boot camp for 3 months. Then we did our 3-touch system with the reps. But an important thing we added at Sage was ongoing triad coaching. Because these managers were new and everything was on fire over there, they hired us to be doing monthly coaching with the manager and the rep. And you can and should steal this, right? The rep does the role play or plays the call. The manager coaches the rep. Factor 8 coaches the manager. Ooh, does that move the needle quickly on building subject matter expertise and coaching skills? Getting managers good at coaching is the number one hardest thing I've taught over my 30 years. It takes a lot to get them there. Okay. And then we did quarterly sessions. And like I said, we kept going and working with this team for 5 years. Now they've pushed it into new hire. I can't name this customer. They're in the Fortune 200 in environmental services. This case study was from 3 months in. So they basically weren't training sales skills. A lot of product, a lot of service, and not a lot of sales. So needs analysis, et cetera. I'll show you the system in a second. But within 3 months, look at these results. 80% increase in new logos and 135% increase in outbound revenue. Now, you're probably getting these results too. The difference is we measure them, right? Because otherwise we get kicked out. As the vendor, we've got to show the numbers. And that's the most important thing you can do if you take no other takeaway. Revenue leaders help them measure this. Okay. Here are the steps. The KPI baselines were key. And this company did an amazing job of sharing early indicator KPIs, as you saw there, as well as lagging and results. We did the everboarding model with this customer because they had hundreds of reps to train and they wanted to bring the DNA and the subject matter expertise in-house. So after we did coach the coach with the managers, we began the train the trainer with their person. They didn't have a sales enablement person, so they changed a manager headcount. So a sales manager became a sales training manager. And we taught them how to facilitate. She's amazing, by the way. Now she teaches us, right? But then we taught the subject matter expertise, how to use our system, how to use our training, how to use our tools. And then she customized all the decks, made it work for different reps in different roles because we have inbound and service. There's like 6 different roles that we're doing. We trained the first 3 classes, doing train the trainer with her. She trained the next 5 classes. The other thing they did an amazing job of here, and by the way, same 3-touch system with the rep training, that accountability session, all of that. But the other thing I love about this company, they made a big difference, was their internal communications team got involved. And every month there were success stories and consistent communication throughout the division. You could submit a call, you could submit a win, people were being spotlighted. The excitement and the energy is there, and the results are in the millions. All right, one last one I'm going to combine into one slide. This was another everboarding model. This is in the education and publishing sector. Again, we did everboarding. They wanted to start with managers, and that's always the right answer. So we worked together for 6 months there. They are now customizing. So their training team was so darn good. We taught it once or twice and they took over. But then they took our soft copies of materials that we had ready for their sales reps and switched it to the language of their customer success reps, who always sort of felt second fiddle and didn't want to sit through training for salespeople. We used to have that happen a lot with inside and virtual sales, Gerhard, right? They take the field training and just use it for the virtual team that made them feel like second-class citizens. So their team, using the soft copies with the everboarding model, changed that up and went long. And they've been in training now for about 9 months with a lot of goals, right? Count revenue, existing, a whole new process. They didn't measure KPIs with us, so I can't share those results, but it's been a fantastic partnership. But once again, the model has worked. Managers first, 3 touches on reps, ongoing communications. We got to be part of their SKO. They keep talking about the training. So here's the system for you. You can download this with your phone, step by step by step by step. It's a checklist. Revenue leaders use it to measure what's happening right now and make some suggestions. Enablement folks use this for your internal customers for every time. When you get a training request, consider that an internal customer. Put together a whole process and walk it through the checklist. Most teams are stalling in phase 2 and phase 4. So make it a system all the way through. All right, everybody's got the download for the checklist. I'm going to give you one more download quick before I lose folks. Last year we gave away over $500,000 in training. So we've been certified as an apprenticeship provider, and this means there's grant money. So if you would love to bring in a system but don't have the resources, maybe you can train your people on somebody else's time. This is a first come, first serve. Our Factor 8 customers are in line first. Last year, the money went in about a month, right? But you could get, I think our max was up to $200,000 worth of training. That could get your entire team training for a year. So same Factor 8 programs because everything we do is certified. But not only do they get a Factor 8 certification, they get a federally recognized sales apprenticeship program. So like welders, now they're sales apprenticeships. Revenue leaders, right? If you don't have internal sales enablement teams, then book a chat. We're happy to help or give advice, anything we can do. I'm going to go full on training geek next. I love this part. So, revenue leaders, of course, stay with us if you want to, but I'd love for you to understand this. Like, I really want to dive into each area where we can level up our adoption. So, of course, I have another acronym, and it's all about our goal. It's about getting things retained. So, the results engine is kind of the chronological process from a high level. This is a deeper dive into some of those root causes, like we talked about, the interactivity, right? And some solutions where you can take some tactical tips. All right. So, results. That's number one, right? We do that in the needs analysis, but let's dive in deeper. How do we align the training with results? It can be hard, especially if you didn't grow up in revenue. Okay. These are real results that we've gotten. And the only reason I can brag about it right now is that we went in and got the baselines from folks. You've got to, okay? Um, this QR code is a blog that our brilliant marketing director, Amy, put together that has 60 plus sales metrics. Run through these, go look at your manager's dashboards and pick three. And when you have that internal meeting to do the needs analysis and to dive deeper to figure out what training needs to happen, identify, walk in with three so you gain some credibility, but have them help you identify what's on the dashboard today. You want a leading indicator, a mid-level, and a lagging. If it's just revenue or profit at the end that's lagging, you need to know earlier if you're getting results, okay? Small wins is what we like to celebrate. And the first thing we like to see happen is talk time go up, connect rates go up, call, time per call. Those are early indicators that things are working. Great. All right, so that is connecting, right? Give a KPI, get a training. So when you speak fluent revenue, then you can go through and say, listen, my issue is in a stage one conversion fail, number three on that one. Great. My team knows now, all right, we really have to work on our customer engagement and our discovery. That's where it's lacking. So after you've been doing this for 20 years, you hear a KPI, you know where to look. It maps to the pipeline. I invite you to steal this cheat sheet and take it in with some of the KPIs that you just downloaded to help diagnose where the issue is. It's tough sometimes because salespeople don't speak training, right? They think videos are good, but a lot of training people don't speak sales. So this is a bit of a translation for you. And if we don't start with the results, we're not getting that buy-in. All right, that's R from the retained model. E is the executive sponsorship. Like I said, folks, take up space. Write them a script if you need to. Go book a deep dive meeting. It's okay to tell them what to say. We have to make it easy for them. Here are some other things that you can do. All right. Ask them deep questions about KPIs and needs. Then attend a manager meeting. Go look at the dashboards. Ask them for their help. I need you to require your managers to attend the training. I need you to require them to coach it afterwards. I need you to talk about it in all of the manager meetings. I need you to meet with me afterwards to look at the results. I need you to get the ops person to give me the KPIs and 90-day prior baselines and post immediately in 90 days afterwards. Okay. Ask for what you need because without it, you're not proving the results, right? We saw it. Number one issue they have is the lack of impact. We don't want that ROI to be invisible and for things to just quietly die. Okay, that's R and E. T and A is tactical and application accountability. It's really TTAA, but that's not really a fun word. I used to put on my business cards, we think theory sucks. You got to get tactical. Let's quit talking about the why we do what we do, right? Let's quit talking about in theory what great discovery is and write a damn question, right? Don't just say you need to uncover deeper needs. Workshop the 10 questions about your differentiators that do uncover deeper needs. Instead of build value, map your solution's differentiators to the top values and then write a question that uncovers those values. See this difference, right? We talk about, oh, you really have to engage the customer. We built an engageometer and then we listen to calls and we rate it 1 through 5 and figure out exactly how we can tell when the customer's engaged. So get tactical. If your training stops with the what to do and why to do it, push yourself to dig into the how to do it, and most importantly, when. I think that's probably the reason that people love our training because it's not the BS theory. It's really literally what can I say when on this call? All right, now let's move to AA, accountability. And this is where we've got to loop in those managers, right? So helping meet with the execs ahead of time to issue the decree. We are all doing this and it's the most important thing we're doing for the rest of our lives, or maybe just this month. The follow-up sessions, live recordings, call calibrations. You've heard me talk about that. Live practice and sales huddle celebrations. We've got to mind the gap between the classroom and the floor. Okay. How do we get this into their daily lives? Well, managers have sales huddles, they have one-on-one meetings, they have contests and gamifications, they have performance huddles, they have team meetings, they have pipeline reviews. How can you push your skills, right? And accountability for using them into all of those? Go attend them. Get permission to stand up there and talk about it, asking questions. Okay. You can also score engagement. We had a client ask us for this, and I couldn't believe I hadn't thought about it in 18 years. Hey, in our quarterly reviews, would you please bring us a scorecard of our managers and our reps and how well they're engaging in this training? Because it's really important, and I'm afraid they're not buying in well enough. Is that the best partner ever, right? Believe me, all of our chins dropped. And then we felt stupid that a client had to ask us for it. So, how do you get this in for the managers? You make it easy for them. Every single one of our classes has a manager toolkit that goes with it. Don't roll something out internally if you haven't given the managers a cheat sheet on what good looks like, how to coach it. Literally, this one in the middle, the whole bottom section is questions to ask in a coaching session about this skill. We want managers to spend the next month coaching, focusing on this skill we just taught, not tone, not the way they used to do it, right? Not taking over the call. So we built them a form of what good looks like, because otherwise it's all over the place. We gave them the questions to ask, and then we give them resources. There's activities they can assign to people, videos they can use in their huddle so they don't have to prep for it, activities they can do as contests, things they can do in their team meetings. You want managers to adopt, make it fast, and make it easy. And I think that's a huge reason for our success. So steal these ideas, folks. All right, let's talk about interactive. Suzanne, you're going to love this. Do videos really teach? I did this in a keynote once and had a really fun exercise. We don't have time for it today, but I'm just going to tell you a little story about this. This is a true story. My son DJ, we were coming up around Christmas, and I was like, "Hey, I think he was 9. D, you want to take some skateboard lessons? Would that be a fun thing as a gift?" He's like, no, Mom, I already know how." And so, struggle face from mom. That's interesting, son, because you don't even have a skateboard. He's, "Oh, I watched a YouTube video." So, knowing how and not killing yourself are two different things. Okay. So, watching a sales video does not result in these skills being applied on the job. My sales leaders, I know it's fast, I know it's easy, I know it's out there, I know it's free, and I'm telling you, it is a waste of time. So, let's upgrade teaching to facilitation with an image I know we're all going to remember. Remember that this is what we think teaching is. This is what we grew up thinking teaching is, right? This is the crap. Do you remember anything from these lectures? This is how we were taught. Do you remember anything from this? This is sort of like one way, right? It's like a video. It's like a webinar. They mimic this. So instead, let's use an image we do remember from college. Red Solo cup. I fill you up. So connect, use, and practice. Facilitation. Okay? Connect. This is adult learning 101. Oh, I remember. Okay? Adults store things in like file cabinets in their head. So when you're bringing in a skill, whoops, not a school, they need to connect it to something else that's already has a folder. Oh, I use this during that phase. Oh, you mean it's like when I'm talking about this with the customer. Connect. Okay, let them tell stories about it. Then they got to use it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people try to teach a system when people are not hands-on with the system. It's a total waste of time. Use it in sales means role plays. I love to use the pause game where you play a call recording and you pause it every 5 seconds and ask them questions about it. Nothing shortens ramp time faster, gets them into the head of the customer. And by the way, widens neural pathways in the brain. It's called active recall. We don't have time for the brain nerdery that I love. But the last part is practice. Okay. If you want people to retain anything, retained in their red solo cup, They need to connect, use, and practice. So revenue, friends, it takes 3 times longer to deliver good training than it takes to deliver a video. Schedule for it. Just know right now, that's what it takes. Okay, interactive training. Here's a couple stats you can use to convince revenue leaders to give you the time it takes to build good training and deliver good training. 50% that forgetting curve in one day, 90% within a week, which means this one-way webinar kind of thing we're doing. This is why I want you to keep chatting and hanging out with me and asking questions, which is hard to do, I know, in this format, but you're going to forget 90% of it. That's why I've given you so many resources to go and download, and you'll get the recording and all the things. I hope you're taking notes. So CUP, connect, use, practice. And that really, like, here's step 1, 2, 3, right? Executive kickoff, interactive facilitation, application accountability. That makes the biggest difference. Everything else around it is a great nail it, like bring it home. It's all extra credit. This is the 1, 2, 3 that you got to nail that's in the middle of this retained model. All right, the end of the retained model, NED, nuanced. That's because customized didn't fit in the model. Nuanced means customized. Okay. Start with your sales dashboard. Figure out what can be measured and what the key is. Connect the skill to the KPI, right? Then go build it custom plan, customized role plays, use real calls, the voice of the customer. I build versus buy. It's why it's so hard to bring in a vendor from the outside because they don't customize enough. We have to make it easy for them to picture applying it on the job. And this is where we spend all of our energy as a delivery team because we are from the outside. We've got to get it as custom as possible. And even as hard as we work, we don't do it as well as your internal teams can, which is why we built the everboarding model. We literally will give it to you so you can make it more nuanced. Okay. Don't buy training that is the same 2-day training that everybody else in the world gets. They're just going to get little pieces and parts of it. It's not worth the money. E is embedded. You heard me talk about this in synthesis. What fires together, wires together. You need to embed your skill training, this pocket of what you've been asked to do, into the real life job. That's synthesizing product into your sales role plays, doing live practice while on a system. Listen to a recorded call and have them look up the product information. Find ways that if you're teaching one skill, you can actually pull in 2 others. Okay, embed it. Build call coaching forms and QA scorecards into your tools. So you're embedding the skills, and now you're going to embed the skills after the training. Because if you teach this and managers coach that, and the AI QA, right, listens for that, that lack of alignment means it's just gone within days. Okay. Push things backwards into new hire, forwards into tools, upskilling, and career paths. If you're taking the time to build this, don't let everything else in the company kill it, is what I'm saying. And then the last one is deliberate. Deliberate duration is the biggest change we've made outside of the manager coach the coach program. Like I said, we don't do events anymore. If you really you want to hire us because you want to get results, then please listen and don't ask us to do the skill in 30 minutes during the SKO. We'd be happy to do a kickoff and a motivational speech for you, but you're not going to get results if you're doing a teeny tiny skill in a workshop and then you go on with 10 other things they learn at the SKO, 2 nights of hard drinking, then getting back on the job and never touching it again. So we like to do one skill at a time and work on it for 2 to 6 weeks. Build the habits over time. Okay, be deliberate. Make what you're building a big deal. Go take up space. The forgetting curve is real, so you've got to plan for it. Keep hitting it. We have a 3-touch system, and we activate the managers to touch it every day in between our 3 touches, which is why they get their own slide again. Your managers are the multiplier. And the SEC rated management skills and agree with me that their ability to coach skills is their #1 worst skill. I love how they rank that. It didn't come in 52nd. It's the #1 worst. And it's true. My coaching program used to be 2 hours. Now it is an 8 hour, three-part series because it takes that long to shift behaviors. Oh, Amy, totally forgot. I don't think I put it in here. We have an open enrollment cohort on manager coaching. So go get your a manager or two into this if you need them to get better, because most of us don't have manager training, right? Nobody put that in the chat. We're all busy with new hires. Oh, you found that fast. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Um, some interesting stats here. I'm not going to jump into all of them. Here's what you need to remember about managers. If you want them to work with you, make it fast and easy, right? I love this from Heather. Factor 8 literally forces my managers to coach. That's our job for you. And you got to do it if it's going to fit. So here's the slide you want to take a picture of. It's the retained checklist all on one. This makes good quality training. So you've got the results engine process step by step. That's the playbook. Here's the training playbook of how we make it good from the inside out. I'm going to save a minute or two for questions in case you got to jump at the top of the hour. I will stay longer as well. But I just want you to know here's what we do if we can help. Okay. If you don't have the internal resources, revenue leaders, bring us in. You're going to see results in month 2 to 5. We can bring in grant funding if you don't have the budget. You got to start now if you want to get results before the end of the year. We are literally all booked out in July and August already. Enablement leaders, it's true, this everboarding model will give you the keys to the kingdom. So if you need the curriculum and you're in there trying to figure out how with 3 people you're going to build it and deliver it and new hire and ongoing, and I can bring you in 60 modules, teach you how to run the system, put them on your system, do the train the trainer, and give you the soft copies. So you get your logo, your colors, and it can live and grow with you as your company grows. And it just reduces down to a license fee. It is literally the best of both worlds, and it makes me so proud to bring it. This makes me proud too. Don't forget you can get grant funding. And here are some QR codes if you'd like to talk to us. We work 3 different ways with customers. One where they outsource to us, the everboarding model where we give you the keys to the kingdom. And then for the smaller companies, right, they don't have the budgets, they don't have the numbers. We literally built the sales bar for you. It's the same e-learning platform we use with the Fortune 100. And then we add coaching or workshops along the way to keep the price low, but activate you and your management team to take over. So that's how you can get a hold of us. Whew, man, you must be sick of me talking because I'm sick of doing the talking. I'm going to stop the share and just see if anybody's got questions or comments. And I know it was a lot, but I wanted to just give you the whole damn playbook.
Amy, this was a fantastic presentation. I took a lot of notes, and here's my promise to everybody in the audience. We will transcribe this and analyze that, and I promise you an executive report with all the details that we will send out to everybody. And now I
Oh,
want to open it for any questions you may have. Please unmute yourself.
Carol, you know you want to. I see your smile. You're just like, not me.
I don't have any questions, but I know the feeling whenever you open it up and ask for questions and it's just mute. So that's why I was running.
I know, right? And you can always see mute face from people
Yeah.
too, where they're like, did it again. I feel like an idiot. Patricia, you're really welcome. I'm really happy you were here. Thank you for coming. Is there one part that you're going to just take right away or one part that was new? If you don't have a question, then tell me the part you liked the most or that you know you can use. I would love to hear that.
I like the
Or tell
idea
me the
of
part
the
that's the biggest pain for you.
I like
Beamer,
the
it was
idea of
so
the
good to see you.
manager
Say
toolkit.
hi to your
That's
lovely
really
wife
cool.
and kids. You're
Well, it
welcome.
seems we are running out of time, that everybody has busy schedules, but I want to thank everybody for attending today. I love this, and we need to do this again, Lauren. You are a rock
Uh,
star.
Oh, thank you for that. That means a lot coming from you. Yay, my girl's clever. I love you. Carolyn, I'm really happy you like the manager toolkit. That is, oh my God, it's such a lifesaver. And by the way, it takes 5 tries to get them to use it. And then they're like, oh, this is so much easier. I don't have to spend all weekend creating stuff for my team meetings. So good. Steal that idea for sure. Yes, you will get the recording, Susan, and all of Gerhard's executive
Yeah.
summary and all the resources we packed into it too. In fact, the other thing we built was a playbook. I took, you can tell I'm getting old because I'm like, how do I get 30 years of all my best practices? And Talia, I know you're working on new hire right now, and there's a ton in there for that, but it's a deep dive playbook into so many best practices. So everyone's going to get that as a gift too. Awesome.
Lauren.
Amy and I are going to go and have a bougie lunch in Chicago, Gerhard. I'm here
Yeah, thank
to see Amy.
thank
It's going to be
Amy
great.
for participating and for dropping all those links. She did a fantastic job.
She's way on top of it. This is
And
great.
enjoy
So
your time in Chicago.
it's going to be fun. Great to see you guys. Thank you for coming and for the wonderful engagement and participation. And just to chat away if I can help. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.